up to the time, up to the crime. You done forgot how it would be. DJ Troy back in full effect. Nah. Alright, my G. Alright, my G's. Just want to salute to my people all over the world. You know, all my people in Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, India, Guyana, South America, all over the world, you know, that watch my video. Just want to, you know, give y'all a shout out, right? As you guys already know, if you don't want to know, you know, you guys know that I've been DJing for many years. You know, I've been outside since I was 14, or probably even before that. I've been outside for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm a music fanatic, you know, I love music, and, you know, I respect the craft and all of that. And by the way, I'm supposed to, you know, I've been supposed to release an album almost 18 years ago, but I just keep putting it off, you know what I'm saying? I don't, you know, just time and focus, fear, right? And I realized this morning, something happened this morning, as we were, you know, my family and I were trying to get out the house to go about our daily journey, you know, work, school, and, you know, whatever else, right? Last week, unfortunately, my little one, she was in the ICU, you know, because of influenza B, the cold, you know, and I asked the doctors them like 1,000,001 questions. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, despite all the news media that I'm into and all the things that I read, at the end of the day, they let me know that, yo, flu is serious, okay? It could mess up your breathing, it could damage you, okay? So people, you outside, just be careful, you know, wash your hands, you know. I know it's springtime and the weather's getting better, but yo, you still got to be careful. You still got to top up on your vitamin C and your vitamin E and all that. And of course, those are for the people in, you know, New York City. You know, if you're in Florida, your weather's different, you know what I mean? But still, you know, if you're in a if you're in a place where, you know, the climate is getting a little bit colder, you know, this is where the viruses and everything start to multiply a little bit more, and you kind of get messed up, okay? You kind of get the cold, all right? So, getting back to the story, okay, before I digress, you know, my wife basically had my child in her hands, or our child in her hands, and, you know, she just had this look on her face, and the look reminded me of the time, you know, when we had to take her to the emergency room. It took me there, right? Took me there. And, you know, I started getting, you know, this pit of my stomach feeling, like, you know, everybody, when they get anxious and when they get anxiety, get different feeling. For me, when I get anxiety, it's like my heart starts to race, like my nose starts to block up, my whole chest area start to feel strange, you know. You know, people would say tighten up. I don't even know. I just know that I'm feeling strange. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I asked her, you know, was there something to worry about? And, you know, she was like, you know, not really. You know, it's just that, you know, the child didn't really sleep too great last night, and, you know, she was up a lot. And, you know, I was like, okay. But she's okay, and, you know, she's fine, you know, because she's sleeping, right? The thing is now, as I, you know, go downstairs to get things ready for us to leave, it hit me like a lightning block. The song by Tasha Cobbs, You know, I don't know if she written it originally, but the song that I'm no longer a slave to fear because I'm a child of God, right? It hit me like a lightning brick. So when you know, my wife came down, you know, I told her, like, listen, well before she came down, you know, for us to leave, I started talking, you know, I started talking to myself that, listen, you know, I'm not gonna be living a life of fear. You know what I'm saying? It's like we pray and then we worry. We pray and we worry, right? We don't pray and let go of things, right? We don't pray and let God take care of things. You know what I'm saying? We just pray and worry. We pray and we stress. We pray and then we think about what worse could happen. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we really have to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? I told my wife when she came downstairs, I was like, listen, okay, for 2024, you're not gonna be living that life where fear is your modus operandum, where fear is the thing that gets you going, you know, because fear is crippling people. I could tell y'all, you know what I'm saying? Initially, when I made this video, you know, I told you guys that, you know, I was supposed to release my album over 18 years ago. Fear. You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be good enough? You know what I'm saying? What are the critics going to say? You know, what are my friends going to say? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm going to digress for a minute. You know, I'm busy thinking about what my friends are going to say. And the truth of the matter is, have my friends supported my business in the last year or so? You know what I'm saying? Have my friends ever bought my mixtape? You know, so who cares what my friends are gonna say, right? Like, it's not your friends, it's what the people are gonna say, right? Because chances are the people who support you the most is people who don't even know you, you know, who just, you know, organically is attracted to whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we're so busy worrying about what people are gonna think about what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Worry about what so-and-so might probably think about the rhyme that you wrote, or, you know, the fear of, you know, rejection and fear of the people in your community. And the truth of the matter is, they're not even going to buy your album. What they're going to do is that somebody who happens to freely listen to your joint going to tell them, oh, can you believe DJ Troy said such and such? Can you believe I listened to the album and it was whack? And then they're gonna spread the gospel. They're not even gonna sit down and listen to your joint. They're just gonna be regurgitating what one person thought of your joint, right? So this is just getting into, you know, the destruction of what fear could do to you, right? So getting back to the point, I say, you know, I told her, I'm like, listen, you know, for 2024, you're not gonna be living in a life of fear, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be living, you're no longer a slave to fear. I repeat the Tasha Cobb song. I'm no longer a slave to fear, 'cause I am a child of God. Let me repeat it. I'm no longer a slave to fear, 'cause I am a child of God. Okay? And immediately when I told her that, here comes the phone ringing. You know what I'm saying? We have a church sister. Her name is Sister Melanie. Sister Melanie called us and she was like, oh, I heard that your child was sick. We were like, initially I'm like, oh man. You know, because, you know, the thing about trauma is that you could be getting out of it and people remind you of what you went through, right? Where you try to get out, they try to pull you back in. So Sister, you know, Mello started talking and, you know, letting my wife know that, you know, she's praying for us. And at the end of the conversation, she prayed. And that prayer from Sister Mello was the best thing ever, because it's just a reminder that at sometimes in your lowest point, you know, God sends the right people to get you to where you need to be, to remind you that He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, you know. And it was just, you know, it helped to relieve that tension, because even in me, you know what I mean? Because like I said, you know, as Christians, we pray and worry. We don't pray and let go, you know what I'm saying? And the mind, boy, this mind, Lord, you know, this mind could go to some places, you know what I mean? Think some things and, you know, have you crippled, you know what I'm saying? Crippled. You know, I digress again. I could remember when, you know, my wife gave birth to my first child. You know, she suffered from preeclampsia, which is basically high blood pressure after you give birth. And trust me, man, after she got that, she went into the hospital. Okay, I ended up being at home with my daughter for a couple of weeks, or maybe a week or two, or, you know, and man, oh man, you know, when she came out of that, listen, she was messed up. You know, I mean, we would go to the supermarket and she started trembling. You know what I'm saying? Fear. You know what I'm saying? Fear, anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It's like she couldn't even walk down the aisle in BJ's. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, that fear of going back into the hospital and getting string up again and going through it again and leaving your child and not knowing if you're going to come out and all of that stuff, man. Fear. It's real. You know what I'm saying? So the message of this, you know, is getting to the point of the music that we listen to, right? You know what I'm saying? You guys know that, as you know, I'm DJ Troy. I've been telling you this forever, and everywhere I go, you know, guys know that I'm DJing Troy. So my credential is that I've listened from A to Z. You name it, I listen to it. African, tribal, reggae, reggaeton, bachata, Mexicana, Chinese music, Japanese music, Indian music, Sri Lankan music, you name it, native. Like, you know, whatever it is that I don't listen to is because I haven't had access to it and I haven't heard it before. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So this is why, you know, if today or tomorrow I release an album, you know, when I release my album, because, you know, we're talking about overcoming fear, my music will just be different, right? Because, you know, my influence is all over the place, right? You know, you're not gonna just come and listen to a reggae album or a popular music or a gospel album. You know, you're gonna listen to a popular music album because the influence will be from all over the world. You know, it's gonna probably might be more of a world album. You know, because I can't go in the studio and not put some Punjabi flavor to my music, or you know, put some Hindi flair to my music. I can't left out the reggae. I can't even think without, you know, putting in some Japanese instrumental. Like, you know, my musical mind is all over the place, right? So I say that to just, you know, let you know what my credentials are when I talk about music, right? So you have to make sure that as a person of light, or a Christian, right? You know, I can never tell you not to listen to worldly music, because I do, you know, like my job requires it, right? But you also have to have, you know, gospel music within your realm, right? You can't just listen to just worldly music all the time, because gospel music will help you get through some difficult times. You know what I'm saying? Because this morning, you know, that Tasha Cobbs song, I'm no longer a slave to fear, just lifted my spirit. You know, lifted my spirit. you know, help lift my wife, help lift my entire home spirit, because you remember that, you know, you're no longer a slave for fear because you're a child of God. It gets you to, you know, get up. You know what I'm saying? Get up and do what you got to do, because if not, we was gonna be leaving that house crippled. You know, at this point, and you know, at certain points in your life, you know, you can't listen. You can refer to Mavado, Top Shatta, we not mess, God's we not borrow. You know what I'm saying? You can't listen to Vybz Kartel, XO, Fever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You can't listen to, you know, certain songs. You know, action. Not talk about, you know, how does that apply to the fact that, you know what I'm saying, my wife woke up extremely anxious about, you know, my daughter being sick last week in the ICU. How does that help me now when I hear that my mind goes back to last week, and I'm in deep panic mode and fear mode, and you know, the saliva out my mouth is dried up and my head started spinning, and you know, I started feeling anxious and nervous. You know, that, you know, certain songs can help me in that scenario. I gotta listen. You know, Tasha Cobbs, I'm no longer a slave to fear, is what is gonna help me to get through that tough time. You know what I'm saying? So that, you know, so that's what I'm telling you guys, that you have to make sure that whatever you do, you know, as people of light, you know, and just in general, you know, screw, you know, yeah, you ain't gotta be qualified as a Christian. You know, you ain't gotta be baptized in the holy water and all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Just put some gospel music in your vocabulary. You know what I mean? Because when life gets you to a certain point, you know what I'm saying, you have nothing to refer to. You know what I'm saying? The music that you love, you know what I'm saying? Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. It doesn't apply to the situation. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On applies to, you know, being in the bed, you know what I'm saying, with another woman, you know what I mean? Or, you know, when you're about to make love, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know there's other inspirational song like Tupac, You Gotta Keep Your Head Up and all that stuff, but yeah, you know, when you are in deep fear, you need to hear Tasha Cobbs, I'm no longer a slave to fear because I'm a child of God, because that's gonna get you through the day. You know what I'm saying? So people, you know, keep on trucking on, keep on doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just have a blessed morning, and just know that you're no longer a slave to fear. You know, if you're going through trials and tribulations in life, just know that, you know, God is able, say a prayer, you know, to get you through the day. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we're going through so much that we don't even know how to handle it. You know what I mean? So do your best, man. Have a beautiful Thursday, March 21st, 2024. Stay up. This is your boy, DJ Troy. You know what I'm saying? Because of this video, I'm going to make sure that I work on my album after 18 years this year. I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And who likes it, who don't. You know what I'm saying? Look out for some mixtapes. Look out for, you know, some apparels. You know, look out for all that's coming. You know what I mean? For 2024. And, you know, hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, I would have gone to the barber and clean up. You know what I'm saying? I know my man Samson gonna see this video and say, Troy, what are you doing to yourself? You need to go to the barber, because, you know, your friends want to make sure that you outside looking good. You know what I'm saying? Your friends, you know, even Marilyn, you know, my loved one, she gonna be like, Troy, you need to get to the barber. So forgive me, guys. You know, I had a busy week, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna get myself, you know, trimmed up, you know what I mean? You know, your real friends, they want you outside shining, you know what I mean? And they expect a lot from you. So for all my real ones out there, you know what I mean? Y'all gonna see me clean for the next video. Salute. Yo, all my folks, I hope this video inspired you in some way, man. Just have a wonderful March 21st, 2024. You know what I mean? And whatever trials and tribulations you're going through, man, just remember that you're no longer a slave for fear. You're a child of the King. You know what I mean? And, even if you don't believe in God or whatever, whatever you believe in, just know that you could get over whatever situation you're going through. All right? Salute. Peace. I'm out.